Alright, so today we're going to be continuing our lessons on identities. So if you would turn to page 56, and today we're going to do part 3. Part 3 has to do with the Pythagorean identities. So as Callie Pearl liked to say, Pythag IDs. Okay? So let's go ahead and just start on our first example. Once we review our identities, these are back in lesson 8. Look right here, and you can see these 3 Pythagorean identities. Now here's the thing about using these identities. I tried to get you to think about manipulating them way back whenever we tested over this skill. But these identities can look 3 different ways each. Okay, so they can look like they are here, or each of them can be moved around a little bit. So in your foldable, let's go ahead and, or not in your foldable, let's go ahead and do this on page 56. Okay, so they're right there where you need them. So on page 56, let's write our sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. Now that can be moved around and manipulated. It can look like sine squared theta minus 1 equals negative cosine squared theta. So you can see that I moved the 1 over to the left and I moved the cosine over to the right. I could also flip-flop that, and I could do cosine squared theta minus 1 equals negative sine squared theta. So that's 3 different ways that this can appear. So anytime you see one side of one of these equal signs, you can substitute what's on the other side. And the same thing goes for each of the other identities. So for the tangent identity, tangent squared theta plus 1 equals secant squared theta. You can manipulate this, move everything around so that you have, say, tangent squared theta minus secant squared theta equals negative 1. You guys might have seen that before, like on a test. We can also subtract tangent over and have secant squared theta minus tangent squared theta equals positive 1. So hopefully you guys are understanding that all I'm doing is manipulating the original identity to become these other equations, which an equation that is always true is an identity. So these are identities. And then the last one was cotangent squared theta plus 1 equals cosecant squared theta. And we can manipulate that to look 3 different ways as well. So we've got cotangent squared theta minus cosecant squared theta equals negative 1. And we can also do cosecant squared theta minus cotangent squared theta equals positive 1. So there's all the things you want to kind of keep an eye out for, and the more you practice, the better you're going to get with these. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and do a couple practice problems.